new calibration procedures. The first is scanning this certified calibration bar and a dedicated calibration process before you actually start scanning. The other, we can actually put this in our working volume and scan it while we're gathering our positioning model. We can launch the calibration procedure from right on the new integrated screen. So we're going to start by capturing the targets first. This isn't something that's necessary, but it allows you to do a couple things within the procedure that I'll show. So we're going to start by capturing the targets, launching the target acquisition on the screen of the scanner, and we're just going to run through and try and grab as many as we can. You can see on the screen we've got this target quality indicator, which shows that each target is captured fully from every direction. That's what we want for the most accurate results. So we're going to gather everything, take a little bit of time, make sure we've got a really nice positioning model. And then once we're happy with the majority of our targets being shot, we can go ahead and pause. This will automatically pick up any new targets as you scan anyway, so anything that you missed, it'll fill in the gaps. So we're going to pause. I'm going to stop the target acquisition. I'm going to launch the target optimization right from my screen. Okay. And I have the option now of cleaning any targets that are red or not fully scanned. I can do that here. I can click clean and it'll remove anything that was not fully captured. All right, and now I'm ready to set up a clipping plane at this point. So once I capture targets first, I can add what's called a clipping plane, and that gives the scanner a barrier below which it's not going to take data. So it'll already separate our part from the table. I'm going to click clipping plane. I've got a little blue laser that shows me exactly where I'm taking the point on the screen and on the table. I'm going to add a point. I'm going to come over here to another point, add. Let's do a third one. And now we've got a clipping plane live on our screen and on the computer screen as well. I can say confirm. Now when I start my scan, which is what I'm going to do now, we're capturing only the surface of the part and it's ignoring everything else. So what's really cool about the new built-in screen is that it gives you an overlay of the scan on top of the actual part. So we always get questions of, hey, how do you know when you captured everything? It's always kind of been just a visual on the screen. This gives you a live update of just where the scan is not covering the actual part. So you can see clearly the part through the scan. It's a very nice addition to the EVO. So we're going to move around. We can move the scanner, we can move the part until we gather all of the surface data. Those 360-degree targets are really nice because they allow you to get lower on the table, so you can scan to the side of them instead of losing sight of the targets that are flat on the table. All right, once we get everything and we're really happy with it, I can pause the scan. I can review it if I'd like, and I can go ahead and stop my scanning process, all from the scanner itself. Okay, there's some cleanup we can do. I'm going to do that at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finalize Scan, and that's going to take our point cloud and generate a mesh. I can review from here as well. What's really nice with Creaform scanners is if I decide that there's some missing areas, I can always go right back into scan and I can fill those areas in. All right, so we're going to do just a little bit more here. Pause that, stop it, finalize one more time. So now that we've got one half scanned, I'm going to set the scanner down and go ahead and flip the part right over. So there's a few ways you can gather two halves of a part. If it's a small one, easiest thing to do is just flip it over, scan the other side. and we'll use the tools in Creaform.OS to put the two together. All right, so I'm going to launch my add scan from the screen here itself. I'm going to tell it to import the positioning targets and all of my scanning parameters. So it's going to use the same positioning model, and it's going to duplicate my resolution template and everything else for the second scan, make it nice and continuous. All right, I'm going to click surface scan one more time, and we're going to fill in the bottom of the part. You can see there it also retained my clipping plane, so I don't have to redo all of the setup that I did to scan the first half. Okay, so if there's some hard to reach areas, you know, the previous generation HandyScan had what's called the single line mode to allow us to get into deeper holes and cavities. This has the same thing. I can click single line and it turns our 42 line scan into one single line. This allows each individual lens to work independently of one another and gather areas that are hard to see with two lenses running simultaneously. I can also activate high resolution mode. So if I've got something that's a very critical hole and I'm doing somewhat of a lower resolution scan, I can activate high resolution and I can paint one specific area and dedicate that area to be a higher resolution triangulation once we do the finalize. And that will increase that resolution locally in that spot for those critical areas. I'm going to deactivate high resolution, finish up my scan here, stop, and finalize that second half. So now that we've scanned both halves of this engine housing, it's time to go to the computer. All right, so I've got two halves. I'm going to clean up my screen a little bit here. Okay, and I've got scan 1 and scan 2. Let's just focus on scan 1. What's really neat is I can, with a couple of sliders, I can isolate this scan from some of the scanning noise. So I'm going to drag up my remove isolated patches, get it to one single piece, re-click that finalize, and I'm going to do the same thing for scan 2. So we're going to come over here, remove isolated patches, let's get it to a nice balanced setting, refinalize, and then we can merge both halves together. All right, so we're going to click on surface best fit. And generally, when we click best fit, if it's a pretty unique looking part, it will align them automatically. If not, we can do pick 2 points. So here, didn't quite have enough, so I'm going to say reset, go to my manual picking, and we're going to get these two in the same or similar orientation, and then just pick 3 points. So 1, 2, 3, just to help it out a little bit. Best fit. There we are. We're going to say OK. And now our final step is just to merge these two together. So we're going to click merge scans. I'm going to leave everything the same, except, and that's going to combine scan 1 and scan 2 into our final part. And here we are. There's our final merge data set, ready to go.